y'all. Hi, Brooke. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Good. I am super excited about the call tonight. Thank you for doing it with me.
Oh, yes. I'm just as excited. Woohoo.
So
I love
I'm
people
really
getting out there and
excited.
posting.
What's that?
I said, I love for people to get out there and post.
Yes. I really do think it's one of the most important things to get your business going. And that's why I kind of thought it would be a lot of fun to follow this up with starting tomorrow on the Pink Dynasty team page. I will be doing a 7-day posting challenge. So every morning I'm going to post your post for the day. If you just signed up a new ambassador, I thought something neat for them to do, or if you are up or you are a downline, you have an upline. Sorry. I thought something it would be neat if when you did your post, you tag your upline in that post, and that way your upline can help support your post. You can reach out to other people on the team and ask them to go and comment on your post. And that way, a lot of times when we're new, we might not have a lot of people that are doing Plexus or that are experienced with Plexus. And so that really will help amp up your post and get it in more people's news feeds and help you feel supported during this time. Because I know that going out there and posting can be a little scary and uncomfortable. So I am going to go ahead.
Are you going to mute everybody? I'll unmute myself.
Yeah, I'm going to mute everyone. Mute all. And then.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. So we will just get started.
Hey, Angie, can I say something real quick about what you just said? I love that Angie is doing this 7-day challenge. And I think real quick, what would be an awesome idea for you leaders that kind of have bigger teams doing this is to maybe instead of just tagging them in Angie's page, that would be good, but to also private message your newbies and say, hey, here's this first post. I'm super excited about it. And just relaying that info to them that way. If you're really wanting them to get involved, a private message will go a long way to those people. So just wanted to add that in there.
Oh, yes, I completely agree. And I think anything that you're wanting your ambassador to see that you feel like is really important, even kind of like screenshotting it, private messaging, like, hey, look for this post. And then kind of explaining to them like why you want them to know about that post or whatever. Because a lot of times what happens when you just tag them, well, I get tagged in 50 million things a day. So it would be very easy for me to miss something. So by you reaching out and being personal and private messaging them, it makes sure, that they are going to see that. And it's a lot more personable. So thank you for sharing that, Brooke. So we will get started here on our slideshow. And so we're going to be talking about posting, how to be successful at posting. And then we're going to go into a little bit on cold messaging. So the first thing I want to talk about when we talk about posting, let me go to my next page. I can't make it scroll. Okay, there we go. Okay, so your non-Plexus posts that you do are just as important as your Plexus post. So I have some examples here of what you could do for a non-Plexus post. I like to do like Bible verses in the morning or throughout the day, and those are really good. A non-Plexus post, inspirational quotes, funny little graphics, cute pictures of your children. People love pictures of your children. And then, this is another kind of funny little graphic. And something that I did not put in here as a non-Plexus post, but I always like to bring it up, is if you go to, let me mute this person here. If you go to Facebook, in the events section, there will be a little thing that says on this day, and you can actually pull up posts from last year and years before that you have done on Plexus. And that is or that you have done on Facebook, I'm sorry. That is a really easy everyday post that you could do. There it goes. What's the click to here?
Okay, so the second thing that you also need to remember, that this is a kind of aside from your your general information about Plexus, are call to action posts. And y'all, you will be amazed at, if you just put these type things out there, how many people, you can kind of engage. And that's a really good thing to do. Also, if you're posting and you're not getting a lot of likes and you're kind of, you're just discouraged or something, stick one of these out there and you'll see that people are still watching. It's kind of a good indicator that all these people still see your post and they are watching your post, so to stay consistent. Okay, so what are call to action posts? There are things that you put out there that you want people to respond to. Hey, I'm looking for some swim lessons for the kids. Do you have any suggestions? Getting ready to start potty training my little man. Need potty training tips for the little boys. Anything like this that you know that people want to give you information about. And look, it's not that you're making this stuff up, by no means. I mean, obviously, we're not going to put, hey, I need potty training help when you don't have kids. But you want to put this type of things out there. Just so think about something that you've been thinking about. I know I did one earlier in the spring. Hey, I'm looking for some cute wedges. What are your ideas? And just, maybe put some pictures up if you want to of what you're thinking about. Just anything like that to get people engaged, because that's the main thing. And like I said earlier, you'd be amazed at how it helps your confidence when you see all these people commenting on them, to know that, hey, they're still following and they see your journey. Disney World is huge. If you are thinking about going to Disney World, I would love to comment on this one. I did one of these as well. Planning a trip to Disney World, what are the must-see attractions? So it's just really anything that you know that people, want to help you with. And again, you're not making this up. This is something that's real life going on that that you just want to question or poll the audience about, if you will.
And y'all, people love to give their opinion. So these are always a really big hit because people want to share, what they've done before. And, so these are always really, really good to do because people love to share their opinions. Always add a picture with your post. This is so important. And actually, I kind of looked at some statistics on Facebook. And Facebook statistics show that a post with pictures are going to get 50% more likes than those without pictures. So here's just an example of a post that was really good. But I really feel like if we would have put a picture up, it could have been like that much better. So, she's just talking about, just got an estimate from the orthodontic office for Devin to get braces. And normally I would have panicked over the price. But thanks to my little part-time job, we won't have to blink an eye. And then, Plexus Freedom, One Plexus, residual income. This is an awesome, awesome post. And you can tell she's got 49 likes, 6 comments, but she could have done like a really cute picture with her son, getting the braces, or even, cute, funny, like braces picture or something like that, that would have grabbed someone's attention. And then she probably would have gotten like twice as many likes or comments on that picture. So you really want to make sure that you are adding, catchy photos to your post.
And I will say, before we move on, another side of this is, we all like to share, we all like to copy and paste and kind of change it up a little bit of our own. Y'all, the picture, the graphic can be a huge way to do this. What I used to do starting out when I was early on in posting, I would copy a lot of people's posts. So I knew I would want to change up the body just a little bit, but I knew that the big way that I could change up was to include a picture. And so what I would do if I had a certain topic on the post, I would Google that word, and then I'd go to images, and I would look through those images and get something that stuck out to me. So for example, if I were thinking about braces, I might Google kid getting braces, and just kind of, sometimes they're really funny pictures that kind of stand out to you, and look through the images and go that route. So, pictures are definitely catchy, but they can also separate your post as well. So
I love that. That's a great tip, Brooke.
Okay, here is a big one, and don't shoot the messenger here. Okay, so compliance. We all know that compliance, being compliant is a must for us. And, the big thing about that we need to remember is, if we aren't compliant, there's a chance on down the road that this can be a bigger issue than just slapping your hand on Facebook. They can really come to our company and affect our business. So we really want to kind of make sure that we are absolutely 100% compliant in our post. And remember that anything we talk about with being compliant in a post is definitely necessary. But if you have something that you really want to talk to your audience about, you can do that in private messaging. So anything that we talk about posting wise, understand that that needs to be on your public wall, but anything can be private message to people. Compliance department has sent out a ton of emails for us labeled the Plexus Way, and they're really, really, really good. You can actually go back through, if you haven't really looked at them, what I challenge you to do is go back through your email and search compliance, or maybe even the Plexus Way, and all of these will pull up. And I just want you to read through them, because this is a really important issue that we really need to take serious when we are putting word out there about Plexus. Angie, did you want to mention anything?
Well, I was just going to say, we are really fortunate that we are able to use Facebook or use these free social networks to market our business. And compliance could basically shut us down and make it to where we could barely do anything. So compliance is not something that should be taken lightly. We should take this very, very seriously. I do try to post whenever we get the emails, I do try to post it on the team page so it's there as well for you to see. But please don't ever be afraid to ask questions. If for any reason you do get, if for any reason you do get contacted by compliance, do not be afraid. Do not feel like someone has come and, reported you or whatever. Compliance has, and they just had it released the other day, they have all of these ways that they can search for keywords through Facebook and Plexus. And that's how they are finding, and they are just trying to make this a lot more safe for us so that we can continue doing our business this way.
It really is a way to protect us, for sure. And like she said, it's not that they're just coming after us jewels because we have, a huge number of people on our team. They do word search, and they do it through Facebook. So this could happen to anyone at any level. So a couple of these that I want to highlight for you. We can list symptoms, but not diseases. So make sure that you stay away from any type of disease names in any shape or form. You cannot attach your website to a person's testimony, not even in the comments. So if someone does have a compliant testimony, we don't want to put our website by no means in the comments, kind of like we have done in the past when that was kind of a thing to do that. When sharing your own testimony publicly, you can't use disease names. Really, testimonies are hard. They're difficult. We do have a process to go through to get them approved and to get them compliant. But for now, I would really just kind of either go towards the ones that are compliant, approved, or just private messaging those testimonies that you really, really like. We can share any details we want privately in a private message or even an email. And we cannot list medication names and Plexus in the same post. So don't hold up that medicine bottle and say, hey, I don't have medicine anymore, thanks Plexus, or anything like that. We're not able to do that. You can go ahead to the next one. But there are some examples on the next slide of some non-compliant posts that you see right here. And I know we've seen some of these floating around, and heck, I've even used some of them. But at this point, we need to, like I said, like she said, be very aware. And if you have any question at all when you start to develop a post, if it's compliant, come to your upline. Go to your upline and just shoot them a message really quick and say, hey, check this. Is this compliant? And they will work with you. And if it's not compliant, they'll work with you and get something out there you can put and produce.
Yes, and I was going to say, I'll kind of just tell you real quick why these certain posts are not compliant. So this is actually a post that I did before here with my daughter and the products. And we are not, even though my daughter does take Plexus products, and we do have several with doctor's approval, and we do have several people on our team who their children use the products with doctor's approval, but there are no Plexus products that are formulated for children except for the X Factor family chewables. So that is the only product that we can share that our children take. The other products, I mean, you know, that's kind of a personal thing that you can discuss with your doctor. I can private message you the success that my daughter has had with the products, but you cannot publicly share that. Also, all of these, I honestly do not recommend using graphics at all. I'm just not a big fan of graphics. I really feel like if you want to do post of the products, take a real picture of the products. But I'm so sorry, my son.
It's okay. I'll take over. Yeah, don't graphics. Just stay away from graphics. I would say, like, instead of this post down here that says, "Do you know?" and it shows this bottle of probiotic. Take a picture of the probiotic in your hand. People love to see you. People love to see, that you actually have these products and you actually take them. I do know that this one right here lists the Dana name, and that's why the one down there on the bottom, that's why it's not compliant. The Soldier over here, you can read through that, but it talks about the post-traumatic brain injury, all that. Obviously, we know that's not compliant. And this one right over here, tired of trying to lose weight on your own, first of all, without even thinking of is it compliant or not, I wouldn't use that because it's just a blurry graphic that honestly nobody looks at. And this was what we were talking about earlier about sticking a picture with your post. Make sure it's something that catches people's eye. Go back to the Google thing, the Google search thing where you just put it in, and if it catches your eye, then chances are it's going to catch someone else's eye on your team. On your audience. But the next slide we have is really some things to say instead of trying to say disease names and things like that. Allergies, anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, IBS, lupus, psoriasis, those are all huge things that we know. We know that Plexus can help. That there's no doubt about that. And these are the things that people complain about. And yes, it would be so easy to say, hey, Plexus helps with diabetes. That's so easy to do, but we can't do that. And so instead of talking about just point blank allergies, we can say nasal congestion, itchy, watery eyes, sneezy, runny nose. Hey, do you have a problem with these? And go that route. And I'm not going to read through all these because you'll have this, but these are just really good suggestions to talk through instead of mentioning the words in pink right here on the side. So make sure that, maybe you come and refer back to this. We might, I'm sure we'll have this recording out, but Angie, we might, what we can do is we can put this graphic, maybe on the team page where you can constantly refer back to it. That way, when you are developing these posts, it'll be quick to say, hey, I need to talk about anxiety. Okay, let me talk about sweating, irritability, and things like that. So it'll just be easier for you to kind of, instead of saying the words in pink, focus on the words in white.
Yes, and I can absolutely, after our call, I can absolutely put that up on there for you all. And if you ever have any questions, you can feel free, to reach out to us. Like, I'm really not sure how to explain this so that it would be compliant. And we are all here to help you out with that. So another thing is making sure that your posts are personal, and not salesy. People are your friends on Facebook because they want to be your friends. They want to know about your life. They do not want to be sold. And so if they feel like they're being sold to, they're going to unfollow you or unfriend you. So here's a kind of an example of a personal post versus a salesy post. Again, like I love this graphic because I would look at her tennis shoe and like, I totally want to know where she got it from because it's super cute. Versus, the graphic, which, like I said, I'm not a big fan of graphics at all. So this is definitely more of an eye-catching post. I love this Brooke because it's super cute and she's kind of like there in the raw and like,
very raw.
It's very, very personal. And I will tell you that before Plexus, personally for me, oh my goodness, I hated taking pictures of myself. I felt like it was like I was vain, like taking pictures of myself and posting it on Facebook, like, hey, look at me. Or I only wanted to post a picture on Facebook if I looked, like if it was like a perfect picture, which were very few of those. So I really want to challenge you, and this is kind of outside of that, like, be okay with posting very real life pictures on Facebook. Now, I mean, like, even if, and this is by no means, Brooke, a bad picture.
No, that's
cute. But don't be afraid to post a picture. Like, everyone has like, bad pictures or whatever, like, post real pictures. Let people see your real life, the good and the bad. But here's just an example. This is a super cute picture versus a graphic. You are definitely going to lean towards this picture and think it's funny. And you might even like it because she looks funny, cute and whatever in the picture. And you're not even realizing that it's a Plexus post. So
right. And I will tell you, I was very strategic with that picture too. Obviously not the face, but I had just gotten finished working out. I had on my Kona t-shirt, and obviously I was in my Lexus. So it was definitely, strategic for sure. Looks horrible, but
oh, you look so cute. So, I love these too. So here's some more examples of of Plexus posts that are good, that aren't salesy. And I love both of these here, and because they are Plexus posts, but they tell a story and they, help people, see what it's, they aren't selling to people. You're telling a story. You're sharing how Plexus has helped you, how Plexus has changed your life. And you're, relating with your friends, you're making it fun, or, maybe it's a picture of something or whatever, but it's a real picture and you're telling a story. These are just cute, cute little graphics. There's about 99% chance that I'm tired. That's a cute little graphic. I love your guts. And then maybe have something about gut health, a cute, funny graphic. And I love what Brooke shared earlier when she was talking about, you could go, if you're, going to do something about gut health, maybe go and Google images, gut health, and find cute and funny and catchy things, like if you don't have a real graphic to use. But, try to be creative with your post for sure.
And you know, this is a big no. Don't do screenshots. If you'll go ahead and move to the next one, this is the huge difference in these two. You know, the one on the left screams, hey, I just saw this on somebody's wall. I'm going to copy it and put it out there. The one on the right says, hey, this is my picture. I took this picture. And I actually shared this the other day, and I did not take this picture. I think Rachel Batwell may have. I'm not really sure. I think it was her. But, and so, you know, that is what the difference is. I will be 100% completely honest with you guys. If I see the picture on the left, I don't even look at it. I don't even care what the body says in the message. It just says to me, hey, you're just kind of putting things out there. You don't really know. You're not really taking the time. And this is not your personal thing. You're just trying to sell to me. So if you don't know how to do that, it's really simple. If you're on your PC or anything like that, just go ahead and save that picture. And if you're on your phone, which most of these screenshots are on your phone, go ahead and just click on the picture and hold down on it, and the little bar will pop up that says save photo, and it'll actually go to your camera roll. And I have seen some people that are super organized. This is not me. I wish it was. Make an actual album and label it Plexus, and they send all of their saved photos to their Plexus album. So it's just a lot easier to kind of access it whenever they're ready, maybe to go to Buffer or anything like that. So definitely try to stay away from anything that looks like the picture on the left for sure.
So the other thing is no blurry pictures. You really want to think about, you know, now you're running.
Number 7.
Oh, is it number? Oh,
yeah.
It says do not. Did we already do not? Oh, sorry. Do not click share. Sorry about that. This is a huge, this is another big thing, like for me too, because when I first started doing Plexus, at one point, I had a lot of different lists that I would post to. So if you were to share something that was on my private Facebook list, say that you were a part of that, and you're sharing it to your audience, then your audience is not seeing that, because that's a private post that's only going to a certain group. The other thing is, I know for a fact that there have been people on our team that have lost customers or even ambassadors because maybe that person was only sharing the post from another ambassador. And so someone might not even know that you're doing Plexus if all you're doing is clicking share. And then also a lot of times people might have their link embedded in a picture of the post or whatever, you know, so then there's another chance there that you could lose, you know, a customer because you did not save the wording, save the wording, copy the wording, save the picture, and make it your own post. So just really take that extra time to make sure you make it your own post instead of sharing.
Yes, that is a really big one. Okay, no blurry pictures. And again, if we kind of can keep the same process of going and getting your own picture or creating your own picture, we really don't have to worry about this. I know a couple of months ago, before Facebook did their update, they had that little thing that would slide across the picture and make it blurry each time. And, you know, people were just reproducing that picture, reproducing. And it got to the point where, like, after the 10th person had used it, you couldn't even see the image anymore. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, I don't think Facebook is doing that anymore. But yeah, and this is what it looks like right here. These are horrible. I would not even stop and glance at that just because, you know, they're blurry, they're horrible graphics. Well, the one on the left is not a bad graphic, but it's just blurry. So, you know, doing the common practices that we talked about earlier, which is getting your own graphic, would really eliminate all of this issue, or make your own graphic. And definitely, I don't think that you would really have to worry about that anymore. So no blurry pictures. If it's blurry, and like she said, if you love that graphic, like you are obsessed with that graphic, then go make another one, or contact the person that maybe posted it and say, hey, where did you get this graphic? Can you tell me how to make it? Anything like that. That's what we're here for, and that's definitely what we will do for you. I actually went on someone's post or wall today, and I saw they had a really cute graphic that I wanted to use, but it said starts July 1st on there. And obviously I couldn't post that, but I really, really like the graphic. So I spent the time in, molding my own graphic from that graphic. So it's perfectly fine to still use people's graphic, or use the idea or the message behind it. But there are ways to make your own. And if you need help making your own graphic or finding your own pictures, please ask your upline. Again, that is what we are here for completely.
Another good tip is if you post someone's personal testimony, actually go and friend that person and then ask them first if it would be okay. Hey, I would like to share your testimony. Would it be okay if I tagged you in your testimony? And then that way it would show up on your wall, and your Facebook audience could go and click on that person and realize like, hey, this is a real actual person. And it also seems more personable instead of just kind of sharing, Joe Smith, lost 25 pounds on Plexus, which that's not a compliant post. But if you actually tagged Joe Smith on there, they would be able to see, and they could go through and find out more about him through that, through you tagging on there. So, but I would always make sure, unless it's someone that that they're okay with it, make sure to private message the person first before you tag them in their testimony. But it's a really good way to make that post more real and authentic post.
Yes, definitely. Hashtags. I love, love, love hashtags. You want to always think that hashtags are going to be something that will attract, people to kind of look into, what you're talking about a little bit further. I have a teammate, Sage Cox. She actually posted today, here's the products that I take. I'm going to put them in hashtags in this message so you can click on each one and, read more about them, which I think is great. We love the hashtag Plexus, One Plexus, Why I Plexus. I know there was one going around a couple months ago, Drink Pink and Move. And I always try to hashtag that every time I do like a workout post or anything like that. But it's just a really good way for your people to kind of look more into it. And I personally use hashtags sometimes. I will search hashtags to get some information. Like, let's say I want to do a post on Block. Then I will search the hashtag up in the top bar and go through and read people's posts that have posted on Block and hashtagged Block. So that's just kind of another little tip with hashtags is you don't just have to put them in your message. You can also look for information by searching them. So,
and you also, when you're using hashtags and you're doing a Plexus post, a really good tip would be, use other things. Like if you're at the beach and you're doing a post about Plexus and you have a picture of your pink drink in the beach, maybe, you could also hashtag, for me, like Clearwater Beach, summertime, whatever, like summer fun, whatever, because people may search totally unrelated hashtags and your Plexus post will come up. So kind of also think of some other non-Plexus hashtags that you could do in your post, so that could attract other people that may not necessarily be looking for Plexus, but they may be looking at, summer post or of Clearwater Beach or whatever. Also, like and comment on non-Plexus posts. It is so very, very important that you are making sure that you are staying engaged with your non-Plexus friends. Because if you are staying engaged with them, then they are also seeing your post in their newsfeed. I kind of do recommend that. I know that as Plexus people, when we start, being a part of Plexus, we get a lot of Plexus friend requests. I love to make friends. I love having a lot of friends. I'm a very social person, but I always recommend, make sure that when you're clicking through your news feed, that you're not only seeing Plexus stuff. If all that you're seeing when you scroll through your news feed are Plexus posts, then that is probably the only people that are seeing your post. So we are wanting to market to our non-Plexus audience. So I a lot of times recommend that you can still stay their friend, but then you could choose to unfollow. So that way you could still go, I can still go to Brooke's page. I can I can comment, I can see what's going on with her, but I could unfollow. So that way I'm making sure to open up my news feed for the people that I'm targeting I'm targeting Plexus to. And then that also helps me like and comment on non-Plexus posts more. Every time you like and comment on something, you're telling Facebook, hey, I like this person's stuff. I want to see more of it. And so you're going to see more of it in your news feed, and then they're going to see more of your stuff in their news feed.
Okay, so the prime times for posting, these are super important. And we call these prime times because this is the time that we feel like, or have been statistically proven, that people scroll through Facebook. In the morning, kind of right when everybody's kind of up, and that's kind of one of their first things to do, between 7 and 9 a.m., on their lunch break between 11 and 1, and at night between 8 and 10. You may think that 10 o'clock is a little late, but y'all, a lot of Plexus happens between the hours of 8 and 10. That's just when people are winding down. That may be when people get their kids to bed for the first time, and they actually have a moment for the first time to sit down and scroll through their Facebook and look at things. So I want you to really focus on your Plexus post on these 3 times, and then maybe in between these hours, that's when you can put in your non-Plexus post. So really make sure that we're utilizing these times where there's really heavy traffic on your Facebook feed for sure.
And I would like to add in, during the school year, I think that, and it depends, every school is different. So if you're like a stay-at-home mom, or if you have an audience of stay-at-home moms, think about what time moms would be in the car line for school, because they are stuck in their car, and what are they waiting for their kids to get out of school? And they are scrolling on Facebook. So that is also a really good time to do a Plexus post about, stay-at-home moms, or having more energy, or whatever would be geared towards moms or parents of children. So that's kind of a really good one, I think, to do during the school year. You also want to make sure that you are mixing up your post. Definitely personal post, Plexus post, non-Plexus post, post about the products, post about ingredients that are in the products. I always think are really good to do. Post about the business, testimonial post, personal post. You really just kind of want to mix it up and make sure that you're not always doing kind of the same thing, because different things are going to attract different people. For example, some things about the ingredients in a product might really attract someone, or a certain product might really attract one person that may not attract another person. Some people may be more interested in the fun that you have with Plexus. I mean, that's why anytime that you are at an event, or, you know, even at your house with a friend and you're doing plexus work, like post about that. And I mean, I've had people that really don't even know what the products are. They're just like, hey, I want to go be a part of this because I want something fun to do. You know, I want a purpose in life, and you're looking like, you know, you're having so much fun. Or, you know, so you really want to mix up your posts because different things are going to attract different people.
Okay, on to my favorite thing to do. I love cold messaging. I know that probably makes me weird, but I will say this. The number one way that you can get started cold messaging is by putting your Facebook posts out there. And when people like your posts, I'm telling you, this is how I got started. This was handed down to me, and it worked. It got my foot in the door. It got me comfortable with cold messaging. It got me comfortable with reaching out to people. When people like your Plexus post, take that and message those people and just say, hey girl, I saw you like my Plexus post. I'm absolutely in love with these products. I know they could help you. We have an awesome 60-day money-back guarantee. Would you like to try more, or would you like more information, or anything like that? Just short and sweet, and just recognizing that they have liked your post and would they want more information. But, you know, short, sweet, to the point, definitely you want to make it this way. I know sometimes it takes a while for us to message all the people that we want to message, but y'all, I cannot tell you how much or how important it is to personalize these messages. Do not make a standard cold message and copy, paste, just because you want to whip them all out. Honestly, if you do that, that's really for nothing, because no one's going to respond to that because they know you've copy and pasted it. So just take the time. And guys, that's why we have 531. We have 531 daily for you to focus on 5 people a day. And, you know, sending 5 personal messages a day is not a lot. That is not a lot. And in fact, I firmly believe that you can get more accomplished with those 5 very personal posts than you can whipping out 30 of them in a night because you're copying and pasting. So you really want to keep it short. You really want to keep it simple. And you want to be sincere about this. You don't want to sound like you are trying to sell to them. Just the other day, I cold messaged a friend, a guy had actually friended me on Facebook, and I didn't really know him very well. So I didn't make a first move right immediately. I knew that I wanted to message him because he did, you know, I could tell he was fit. I could tell he, you know, kind of was in what he wanted to be healthy. Well, about a week and a half in, he posted something about drinking some old nasty drink. I don't even know, like some type of cleanse, something. Anyway, so I just simply shot him a message and said, hey, you know, I just wanted to let you know that I'm a Plexus ambassador, and I see that you are invested in your health, which is amazing. And are you aware of what our products have to offer? We are unlike any other company out there, in that we don't patch issues. We address the gut health, which is what you are interested in. Would you like more information? Great job on investing in your health. Very short, sweet, to the point. And he actually messaged me back and he said, you know, I have heard a lot of great things about Plexus. Right now, I'm wanting to try to do it by myself. And, you know, thank you for contacting me, maybe sometime in the future. So y'all, I think it's so important that when people, even when people message you back, when they take the time to message you back, and even if it's a no, I firmly believe that it's so important for you to follow back up with, okay, I totally understand. Thank you for messaging me back. That is so important because it lets them know that you're not only contacting them for a sell, you are really investing in them and are, you know, are interested in them. And, you know, I I definitely did that. I said thank you. And then a couple of days, or actually I think it was today, he posted like some motivation thing about going and work out. And I just simply commented and said, this just motivated me to get up and get going. Thanks. And so just making that connection, even when they say no, keeps them involved. It kind of keeps them, okay, well, maybe she's not just messaging me to make $1. Maybe this stuff really does work. So I think that is super important, that you definitely make that connection. And that's where that personalized stuff is going to come from, and not just a cold message, just that standard cold message. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want to do this?
Yeah, you can keep going.
Okay. Always end the message with an open-ended question that kind of engages them or allows them to feel like they want to respond back to you. If you just kind of leave it as, have a good day, then that's it. That makes it easy for them to say, well, maybe not. No, thank you. But always end that with an open-ended question. Would you like more information? Have you ever tried these products? Have you ever used supplements? Anything like that to engage them in wanting to kind of continue this conversation with you, I think is a really, really good idea. So anytime, and I know I just talked about, personalizing, and I do want you to personalize, but you can always end with the same question. That's perfectly fine. If you've got a good question that you like, then go ahead and put that at the end of all of your cold messages. That would be perfectly fine. But I definitely think that this is vital for you to do. And then the last one is take the conversation offline. Angie, you want to kind of elaborate on this a little bit?
Yes. Now, a lot of times when when you're messaging someone, you kind of go back and forth. And I feel like sometimes it's lost in translation when you keep messaging back and forth. And so, it's really good to say, hey, you want to give me a quick call, or hey, can I call you? And offer to take the conversation offline and to really talk to them. I mean, a lot of times if you get someone on the phone and they can hear the passion and enthusiasm and confidence in your voice, I mean, that is going to make them even more want to try the products. Another thing I think is really great to do is, instead of always sending a message to someone when you're reaching out to them, is, Facebook has this great, the messenger thing is where you can leave a voice message. So voice messaging someone how you're wanting to reach out to them so that they can hear the enthusiasm and the excitement in your voice. And a lot of times it seems a lot more personable and a lot less like, she's just trying to like copy and paste and send a message to me and move on. It just seems a lot more real and personable. But I do like what you were saying, Brooke, about kind of making sure, if you're messaging and you're reaching out to someone, you also want to make sure that you are staying engaged with them. And that's something that Lori Welch talked about the other night, is you want to make sure that you're not just reaching out to them or following up with them, but you're also actually investing in them. You're engaged in their post, and that way it is a lot more sincere, and it's not like, she's just trying to get me to join her so she can make money. I mean, you want to really take the time to make sure that you are investing and working and making things more personable. And that will be a lot more attractive. People do not want to be sold to. That if you are more personable, you're going to seem a lot more genuine. If you are taking the time to make your message more personable, and if you're taking the time to actually reach out and comment and be involved in their life on Facebook as well. I think that's all that we had on here. I'm so sorry about earlier with my son. See, that is the privilege of working at home with the children. So I do see that there are a few questions on here. Okay, so what is an example of a message that you could send? Now, I will tell you, I think that you all should be a member of the Pink Dynasty page, but if you're not, just let me know. I'm happy to add you to it. I posted probably a while back, but I know several different times I've posted examples of cold messaging. You can go and Facebook actually on your phone now. Facebook has a little search option. You could go in there and search cold messaging, and there are a ton of messages that will come up of different examples that you use. And I like to go there a lot of times when I'm looking for something. I kind of feel like, oh my goodness, I am like, I feel like I send, kind of the same thing, or I'm wanting something new and fresh to send. And so a lot of times I look at that for new ideas of things that I could say. So that's a really good place to go. And then it says, do you give all the information about what Plexus is and mention the business? No. Like Brooke was saying in the beginning, you want to make sure that your message is short, sweet, and to the point. You don't want to like vomit Plexus all over them and tell them all about the business, even though it's really hard when you get so excited about something. You just want to like share everything with them. You kind of want to give them little bits and nuggets, and the point is, you want them to keep on like wanting more, asking more, like let's ask her more questions. And a lot of times, even if they respond back to me, I end it with a question, but then they respond back to me, I'll ask them another question. You really want to get down to, what their goals are, what they're wanting out of it. A lot of people say, when they want to try Plexus, they're like, a lot, who doesn't want weight loss? But I really, if someone messages me and they're like, hey, I want to lose, 20 pounds in 2 days, like, will Plexus help me do this? I try to turn it back to, okay, well, tell me what your health goals are. A lot of times I ask someone, are you on any medications? And it's not because I'm a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I do not diagnose anything. But the reason why I ask them about their medications is because a lot of times people will not tell you that they have anxiety, they have migraines, they have a thyroid issue. But if you kind of say, what are your health goals? And, do you currently take any medications? Then they could say, well, I would like to have better sleep. And, they might mention something about weight. I take, Prozac and Imitrex and Synthroid. So right there, they might have anxiety or mood, kind of thing going on. They have, headaches. They have thyroid. So that is something that, by that information, you can take that and you can personalize what would be good for them by what they have given you. So that's kind of, what I would do there. And then, okay, so any tips for new ambassadors who want to go fast start gold? We are blessed with an amazing team that has so many. We have, I don't even know, I think 5, 6. I've lost count of the amount of people that have fast start gold on our team. I have not personally. So what I would recommend is, actually, I know for a fact that Rita Anderson and Holly Devers have both posted a video on the Pink Dynasty team page. So you could go look up, and I have done a post about Fast Start Gold. So you could go on there and search Fast Start Gold, and there would be a lot of good information. You could watch Holly and Rita's, both of their videos on how they went about doing it. I think the most important thing is, if you are wanting to dive into this business full on, then I would recommend reaching out to people immediately. Even if you don't have a testimony, I think that is the biggest way that people have fast start gold is they're like, okay, I'm just going to dive in and do this. And they start immediately reaching out to people, immediately calling up their friends, and not just reaching out to people on Facebook, but calling up their friends, emailing their friends, but it's immediately making that contact and letting people know, hey, I'm doing this and I want you to come do this with me. Did you have anything to add? I know that you have some people on your team that have actually done that.
Yeah, I just had one actually this in June go fast gold. Sage Cox, she just went fast gold, y'all. And let me tell you before I tell you about all that, y'all. I messaged her for 11 months straight. 11 months straight. 10 messages with no response, none. Period. But I stayed consistent. And, I kept messaging, and every time a special came up or every time that I saw something that reminded me of her, I would always message her, and I stayed consistent. And finally she turned around. And she tells me every single day, thank you for not giving up on me. So that needs to be motivation right there to not give up on people. But I will say this, if you have an ambassador that's thinking about fast gold, my advice would be to figure out the strengths that he or she has and run with those. Sage just happened to be a personal trainer. So she was able to, approach people on the fact that she was confident in these products and, knew, the symptom or that the results would be there and, all of that good stuff. So if a person is a very social person, embrace that, get with their friends. Because if someone is very social, they have more friends that are social too. Talk to them, get them to help you along the way. It's not just you having to get those 20 people. Have them consider people that they could potentially recruit that could help them in that journey. And like she said, get on the phone, call them. I think when you are trying to add 20 in 1 month, that's a little bit of a sense of urgency that you don't want to just sit back and wait and post on Facebook or sit back and wait and cold message. I think you really need to get on the phone. I think you need to see people in person and talk to them and connect them with your upline, someone that's been around the block, because for them, their disadvantage is going to be the fact that they haven't been around the block for a while. And, people are going to question, well, how do you know? And so that's where you can loop that upline in that has been there and does know. But it is going to take a joint effort on you and your downline that's trying to go fast gold for sure.
And someone on there has, if you're unable to use Facebook right now, do you think cold messaging and calling is the best way to go? And absolutely. I mean, if you're for whatever reason, if you're not able to market on Facebook, then you're definitely going to have to go old school and pick up the phone, call your friends, go, every time you're out, talk to people about it. So there are other ways for sure to market it other than Facebook. If for any reason, you have someone that does not use Facebook or whatever, and we do have to remember that not everyone is on Facebook, and that's why it's so important. I mean, I feel like, wearing your Plexus swag and talking to people about Plexus is really, really important, because you just never know who you could be reaching out to. And having business cards on you, is really important as well, I feel like. So the next question was, do you think Diamond Doc, sending Diamond Docs privately is effective? And I would say 100% absolutely. In fact, that is a really huge, huge thing that Julia's team has done. And they have had immense success with that. And what the people that have told me that do that is, what they do is They find Diamond Docs, and in fact, you can also search this on the team page. Do Diamond Documentary or Diamond Doc or whatever, and there'll be all kinds of stuff that comes up. But there is a whole list of Diamond Docs, and then, like, for example, if you have someone that's a nurse and you want to send them a Diamond Doc that is relatable to them, because that's the first thing that you want to make sure. If you're going to private message someone a Diamond Documentary, you want to make sure it's relatable to that person. So,
and take the time to watch it as well. Take the time. If you see one that's geared to a nurse and you have a nurse friend, take the time to watch that video and put in there why you think they should see this. Hey, check this out. This woman was blah, 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 blah. And it reminded me of you, and send them. Don't just send them this and say, hey, watch. Take the time to let them know that you actually watched it and relate it to them. I think it's definitely successful.
Yes, I am. And I have not done that personally. I mean, I have done with a few, but I know that for a fact that there are a lot of people in Julia's team that have done that. Have had huge, huge success. But like she said, make sure you're taking the time to actually watch it and relating it to that person, so it has that personal thing there. Did you have anything else to add, maybe on the cold messaging or any of the other questions that we had there?
I think one more. Let's see. What's your? The video will be posted once she records it, so you don't have to worry about that. But just, again, the whole message that I send, most of the time it's, hey, so-and-so, your kids are so precious. I so enjoyed looking at pictures of them. I just want to let you know that I have been, this is month 15 for me for taking Plexus products. And, it has definitely helped me with managing my 3 kids and my stress level. And, I just really, I group it all together. Whatever you start out with that intro, being personal, talk about how Plexus has helped you in that same sense. Does that even make sense? Like, I talked about their kids, thank you, or I enjoy watching your kids. And so, they have kids. Well, I have kids too. So it's really helped me, and, group it all together. So it's not, hey, I sell Plexus. Would you like some? Yeah, just like that. So just group it together for sure.
And we just got a question, what information should be on a business card? And for my business card, what I have is, obviously my first name, last name. I never recommend putting your rank on there, because obviously, ranks can change. So, independent ambassador, your ambassador number, your phone number, your website. If you want to put an email on there, you could do that as well. But it's kind of up to your, whatever if you want more information on there, but definitely, your name, independent ambassador, your ambassador number, your phone number, your website, and you could put your email as well on there if you would like to. Is that normally what you would put on there, Brooke?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you go to that My Plexus Tools or whatever it's called in your back office, they kind of give you step-by-step things to fill in to it. So you don't have to.
I definitely recommend, if you are looking for business cards, Etsy is a great one. And I absolutely love the graphics nanny on there. She has really nice cards, and she ships them and gets them out to you really quickly. A lot of people I cold message never respond back. How do you handle that? Message them again a little while later, or leave them alone?
I never leave people alone until they tell me no. Sage is a perfect example. Had I left her alone, she would have never gotten started with this business, or would have joined with someone else. You need to think about it that way. I my tip would be, if you have already called, message them, and maybe you've maybe tried to reach out again. Maybe if you've already messaged them, then chances are you hit them back up for the July 4th special that we had. Always kind of think about specials as a good time to go back to them. But the big thing that I always tell my team is either message them at the end of the month or the beginning of the month. Hey girl, it's a new month. It's a great time for you to, kind of try Plexus, see how it works for you. And if it doesn't work, we'll get you a refund by the end of the month or the end of 2 months or something like that. So anytime you kind of have marks like that, then I would, choose that point again and again. You're essentially doing it because it's around the payday where it's kind of on their mind. But obviously, we're not going to say, "Hey, it's payday." What do you think about it now? Once they say no, do you try again later or leave them alone? You definitely try again later. Separate it. If they absolutely say no, thank you, not right now, always follow back up with that message and saying, "Thank you for taking the time. I do appreciate it." I would probably wait a good month or two. If they flat out say no, especially if they give you a reason, I would wait, but definitely come back around in a couple of months for sure.
And I want to encourage you all, do not give up. I will tell you, I've been doing this for a little over 2 years, and I have people that, I had, people that, joined me last month, and I messaged them for over 2 years. Never, ever a response. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they messaged me. Or, I have plenty of people that, I hate that Facebook lets you see that they've read the message, because then you're like, okay, why aren't they responding back to me? Like, what are they doing? What do they think? Why, like anything. But do not get discouraged about that. The way that you need to look at it is, we are farmers. And every time you cold message someone, every time you post, every time you follow up, you are planting seeds and help watering and planting and harvesting. And eventually, the more that you do, the more that you follow up, it is going to pay off. I promise it is. If you kind of feel like, you're getting zero response and you kind of feel like you're in, a rut, reach out to your uplines, reach out to other people on the team. I always recommend getting a good sideline buddy, to kind of reach out to and, talk about different tips and things that you're doing. Maybe there might be something. I know that at one point, Ellen is my upline, and I have her, I'll send her a message. I'm like, can you help me tweak this so that I get a better response? That would be something, but do not get discouraged. Just keep pressing through. I promise it will be so, so worth it. So I know that we are at 1 hour. So I'm going to go ahead and close. But feel free to private message me. I'm sure you can private message Brooke or your upline if you have any question. We all are here to help you. We are so thankful for you taking the time to get on this call tonight. And we are super excited about this posting challenge tomorrow. So get ready, and I'm excited. Go Plexus. I hope y'all all have a great evening.